I'm back from vacation, getting ready for what I feel is going to be an epic football season that's going to have stories upon stories, interest upon interest, excitement upon excitement. I really feel it. I look over. I've never seen a conference as stacked with quarterbacks and quality teams, on paper, as I see coming into this 2022 season. I got my Phins, big season for them. I cover the Bills. Bills got a huge season. Titans, who I've been covering a little bit, trying to get to more. Colts, I'm starting to. They've got a huge, everything. You look at the AFC West, AFC North, AFC East, and AFC South. AFC's got competition upon competition. Now, my vacation, I was going to do a little story, about unexpected turns. You have one thought of how things are going to go, and then a curveball comes and goes all the way. But that was my vacation. It was a good one. Had a great time, relaxed. So I was going to do a whole story about how it all plays out. It was all good. And my wife, I hear, honey, can I come in? I'm like, no, but yeah. She's like, are you busy? I said, I'm just ready to record. I just got off vacation. I got to do the recording. Yeah, but no, you don't say yeah, but she's like, my brother needs a favor. Really? She says his girlfriend, who he's been dating for just a little while, she got a call from the doctor. She took some cancer tests, and they told her to come in. I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. This girl is like, like the nice girl, what I'm saying? She's like very quiet, and she loves animals and kids, and she's a little bit younger, and, cancer. What are you? She's like, she doesn't want it. She's crying all day. She's got to go tomorrow. My brother can't get off. Can I drive her in? Of course. So, I say this story to say that in one point, NFL season, I get excited and amped over it, and I try to make this big thing. And in a way it is, in a way it isn't. You go through the news, you hear people's lives, and there's all kind of crazy stuff going on. So it's only football in reality. But this crazy ride we're in, we get one show at it, one ride at this show. And so we're just trying to put some smiles on our face through the process. So while I get amped up and crazy over NFL, it is only NFL. But within that framework, man, it is an amazing tale. But the tales very rarely play out as you expect. So I'm going to cover the AFC East today and show where, a lot of these expectations might not play out exactly as planned, but there's excitement in that. And if you can kind of see it before it comes, you don't get hit as hard. But finally, before I say anything else, if you can, throw some good wishes, some prayers to my brother-in-law's girlfriend, real sweet girl. Not a terrible thing. Old monkey like me, man. I've done everything to my body possible. And yeah, I'm still relatively healthy. This girl's like, doesn't do anything, and she's got cancer. Most likely. Preferably not. Maybe it's something else. But anyway, before I get into that, I just want to say I'm glad to be back. I want to give a shout out to you guys. Thank you for stopping by. Without you guys, it's none of this thing's going down. I appreciate all the happy wishes for a good vacation. I needed it. Thank you. And I also want to give a shout out to our sponsors, Ace Per Head. A quick shout out because without them, none of this would happen as well. Ace Per Head's betting software is the premier white label platform for bookies to manage their players and grow their sportsbook operation. Click the link in the description below to get set up in minutes. Ask for the Curtis promo and get a special introductory discount. All right, so I'm going to start off, the Jets. I was really kind of down on them. Then I saw that draft. I was like, oh, man, interesting. And I went back and started thinking about it, especially over my vacation where everything was going not exactly as planned. I was like, maybe I need to really rethink because I believe in that. I believe that if I believe something, I need to question and look into the things that are in opposition to my beliefs. Because either A, it will help me get to the right choice, or it's going to help me fortify my position. And I looked over the Jets, and I saw some very interesting things. Now, I don't think they're going to win the division. But what I do think now, after looking into them, they can be a dangerous team in the sense that they can take a needed win from somebody in the AFC East and and cause them to tumble just enough to have serious trouble or to get knocked out of the playoffs. Because the Dolphins, Patriots, and Bills, they have expectations to make the playoffs. They must make the playoffs given where they're at. Patriots a little bit less, but that's not a good look if they don't make the playoffs. If they make it last year and the Dolphins overtake them. So these three teams would be fighting for maybe certainly one, but maybe 2 spots depending on how the rest of the things shake out. And the Jets have, from what I'm seeing, enough firepower to screw somebody up. Now, Zach Wilson, he was like bottom of the ranked quarterback practically. And a lot can happen between year 1 and year 2. I saw things that made this guy look like he has some talent, but he didn't look like he knew what was going on. But considering all the loss of talent that this team had, the lack of talent, the issues they had, it's kind of understandable. If this guy can make even a decent step forward to say that around the 20th mark, that's going to be a big boost in production. And they got Garrett Wilson, who I really liked. I didn't know much about him, then I've been studying him out. He looks a little dangerous, and there's some cool group of receivers around him that can really create something. And that offensive line looks like it could be a very good offensive line, possibly the second best in the division, and maybe even vying for first. Now, they've got McGovern, Becton, if he can stay healthy, Tomlinson, Veritucka, and Fant. That's an excellent offensive line. There's a little bit of, they picked up a guy in the 4th round. That offensive line and defense creates consistency on all teams. Defense has got some holes on it. They were 29th in run defense, 30th in pass defense. But this offensive line didn't have Becton last year. They pick up Breece Hall, who's a fast guy. Some people like him, some people don't, but I really like Michael Carter. And so you could see this offense taking a step forward, which would help the defense out. And the defense, they really made some big moves. And they got Bryce Hall from last year. So, okay, he's a pretty good cornerback. But then they added Sauce Gardner. The guy looks like a stud. And we'll see how it plays out. But that's a big piece that's coming in. And then they got DJ Reed, top 10 corner. This guy's serious business. And so this pass defense has a massive boost of talent. And I believe in Saleh. I like him. I think was a good defensive coordinator. I think people dismissed him last year because he had a bad year. They did the same thing to Flores. You say you don't like Flores because it's interpersonal things, but the guy was a good coach. I mean, he kept a pretty broken team for 3 years in the mix of things. And it gave the Dolphins 2 winning seasons. They haven't had back-to-back winning seasons. Was he the right guy for the job? You might agree, you might disagree. Was he the best coach available? You might agree. But this guy was a pretty solid coach, at least, and he was pretty much written off after that poor start. And he had Fitzpatrick to really help him out. Saleh didn't have any of that. So I think this team really has a chance to do some damage. They had Quinnen Williams, who was a beast in 2020. They picked up a Johnson II, who, if he gets his attitude right, according to reports, this guy could be a beast. So there's a lot of variables here that in a cold weather game on the road in New York, it could screw the Dolphins, Bills, or Pats up. And I think they're going to get one win between those 3 teams. More than likely, it's going to be the Dolphins or the Pats. I don't know about the Bills. I don't think they're ready for that, but you never know. You never know. So that's a team. They're going to probably be the 4th spot, maybe 3rd, but I think they're going to get somebody who's not fully ready or injured or prepared and take that one win that's going to be critical. Now, the Pats, they were 22nd against the run and 2nd against the pass. Excellent, but they lost that corner. They picked up a bunch of corners in the draft. I mean, can they replace him? I don't know. But a lot of people are down on Belichick, and maybe they should be for his drafting prowess. We'll see. But his developmental, he keeps bringing in players in that secondary. He's able to coach that up. And I really like their secondary with the safeties. I like McCourty, Phillips, and Duggar. Duggar I've been looking at for 2 years now, 220, 6'2". This guy is going to be an enforcer, linebacker type guy. A lot of Pats fans are saying that they're going to be doing heavy nickel a lot, and they're going to scheme up in a way to start to get that run defense back, because that's really the main thing with them. The run defense is really where they lacked in their defense. Their pass defense, like I said, was phenomenal. They had a great run offense. Passing offense wasn't as bad as you thought. I'm going to do a little study on Mac Jones and show you that they weren't as bad. I mean, yeah, his arm needs to improve. His mechanics needs to improve. His body needs to improve, which a lot of these things we're hearing he's done. But they still put up a lot of yards in the passing game. And they ran the football up the yin-yang. Really, the biggest weakness on that team was run defense. And you can kind of scheme things up. It doesn't always have to have massive talent. In situations, you can bring run blitzes in. You can do all kinds of stuff to kind of get a run game off schedule. And they're going to need to. Dolphins have emphasized their run attack. Jets have emphasized their run attack. And the Bills are going to be very dangerous because they've heavily influenced and advanced their run attack. And I think they're going to be more committed to that. So if the Pats can stop the run, it's going to make them dangerous because if Mac Jones can take a step forward. I was watching Alex Rollins, I believe his name is. Really good guy. I like a lot of his stuff. But he had put a video out I wasn't too hot on. It was like Mac Jones has got a man coverage problem. I thought it was really thin. You go look, and man coverage is basically based off of protection and one-on-one matchups. And Mac Jones was a rookie. And the offensive line was hot and cold as far as pass protection because of injuries, and he didn't have a great crew. I like Devontae Parker. Devontae Parker was very good for the Dolphins when healthy. But, Pats, how they do it, they like to screw people. So maybe they're gonna help Parker stay totally healthy, and the guy's going to have an all-world season. I mean, maybe not. But they got Myers. They got some good tight ends. They picked up some players to help them out in a passing game. Belichick's not really good at drafting receivers, so I don't know. But they were pretty competent in the offense. Again, it goes back to that run defense. And I'm very concerned about week one, my Dolphins versus them. If they manhandle the Pats, then I'm going to get on board with a lot of other people saying the Pats are dead. But until that game comes and goes, I'm not going to say this team is finished. Because I hear some people saying they're going to be fourth in division. They're done. Max sucks. I don't know how you say that, man. You go back and watch this kid. He was a rookie, taken 15th overall. Had a good season. I mean, yeah, some flaws in his game. But go look back and look at Brady. Took the first year off, and then he kind of was just like, 28 and 14 for a couple of years. So anyway, Pats, I still think, are dangerous. If they can't stop that run, if they don't get that secondary going, then, yeah, they're going to fall to the bottom. But I'm just not ready to discount Belichick or this team because there's some assets on there. And I like Mac Jones before the draft. I like Mac Jones after the draft. And I think this kid's going to take another step forward because unlike Kyler Murray, he doesn't need, in his contract, I need to study 4 hours a week. This guy's living it. And I think that's very dangerous. So then there's the Bills. I mean, the perturbation of the Bills being hot or cold is the least of all the teams. I mean, it all revolves around Allen. When you got Allen, you could basically beat almost any team. But in the same token, if Allen gets a sprained ankle for a couple of games or whatever, this could create things. But this guy is so big, so healthy, and so young. I don't really see it. Still see them taking first in the division. But there's areas of concern for Bills fans and hope for other fans. Because the Bills, again, are based on Allen. So if anything happens to Allen, big trouble. And really, that secondary early. Trey White's a really good corner. But I don't know when he's coming back. And that early game against the Dolphins with their very deep second wide receiver group, very dangerous and very deep, could steal that game. And I really feel that the Dolphins, Patriots, and Bills, there's going to be a battle in there. And I think that Bills are ultimately going to take a pretty clear lead to first place. I don't think they're going to have that lull like they had last year. That second place, though, I think is going to come down to a game or so. But you never know how things shape up. That one early loss maybe to the Dolphins could put a lot of pressure and things might not break the right way. So I would say that, you got Von Miller there. You got unbelievable run defense. And stopping the run, especially in all these bad weather games, critical late bad weather games that can happen in the AFC East and around the league. Bills, to me, are the heavy favorites, probably to win the Super Bowl, win the division. But you never know. You never know. And that's the thing we got to hold on to. You know, if you're a Pats fan or a Jets fan or a Bills fan, anything can happen. I do, again, think the Bills aiding this run game takes away the risk of losing Allen to some dumb run, ridiculous run. It's not needed. And I think that cornerback group will blossom in time. So that window to take advantage of the Bills is going to be early. And I don't know if the Pats can do it, but I do think possibly the Dolphins can. And the Dolphins, their defense is not elite in the sense of pass defense or run defense, like, say, the Patriots are in their pass defense, or the Bills in both pass and run defense. I mean, the run defense of the Bills was just a little bit better than the Dolphins, but a lot of that came about because, I don't know, Abel just wanted to throw the football some games. I don't know. But I think if he had kept the stratagem from the second game on to about the 6th, 7th game throughout the whole season, they would have been a much better run defense. Dolphins, though, they got a good balance. They're not terrible at anything, and they have a lot of room to grow to get better. And so that defense is going to keep them in games. Howard, Jones, Nick Needham, that's a really nice starting three. I think they're the most dangerous of all the cornerbacks in the division. I mean, you've got to see how Jets play out with Sauce. If Sauce is like super elite, along with DJ Reed, that could be dangerous. But Dolphins, they got I like Tyndale and Baker, cover guys, fast cover guys, spy guys on Allen, Rowe, Holland, Brandon Jones. It's a nice group. Little thin, though, in that cornerback group, though. If Howard goes down or Jones goes down, do you trust Noah? That's the only thing I worry about the Dolphins in their secondary. But the defense overall, they got Sealer, Wilkins, Phillips, Agba, Van Ginkel. That defense can really, really be highly effective if they can stop the run. And that goes back to what I talked about earlier in the offseason. Can Davis be that A-gap monster? The run defense is going to play a major part to who wins and who loses in the AFC East. But overall, Dolphins have a very good situation on defense. Now, that receiver group is and could be kryptonite to teams like the Patriots, who we don't know what that secondary is going to be like, teams like the Bills early until Trey White gets back, and maybe even late. Because when you look at this group of the Dolphins, this wide receiver group might be the best in the division. I mean, maybe even clearly, I'm trying to hold back because I'm a Phins fan, but when you got Hill and Waddle, that's scary. I did a whole thing on leverage of how these kind of receivers create heavy leverage that opens up a lot of stuff. But then you add in Gesicki, who's that mid to late receiver who's not going to get the same kind of focus because of Hill and Waddle. And you add Cedric Wilson, who's a pretty big guy, pretty quick guy, very experienced guy, and that's your fourth target probably. And then you add in Bowden Jr. Now, a lot of people, maybe they don't know who Bowden Jr. is. Maybe if you're a Phins fan, you forgot. Go back to 2020. This guy was doing a little bit of magic in 2020. Maybe I should even do a study on him and show you. I think if this guy can stay healthy and take off from where he was in 2020, he could be the dark horse of danger and hope that we could have a very potent offense. I really like what this guy can do. I really, really do. And then obviously, all the other guys in front of him. But then you add Easy, Uzicombe on, can't get that one. It's going to take me a while. It took me years to get to his last name. I still can't even hit it most of the time. And they got Preston Williams. That's a really deep and dangerous group. Williams, you know what? He might come in as a fourth guy, but he can run block really well, and he's huge and he's fast. And he's not going to be needed. He's just sauce on top. This receiver group, if that offensive line, which is a little bit helter-skelter, Teron Armstead, can he stay healthy? If he does, I think anything's possible. And this receiver group, they just need to catch the football and make things happen. They're going to leave people in the dust. It's going to be a matchup problem. Can they protect long enough to get the ball out? Can they run the football to create situations where the defense has to suck up and that opens up spaces in between? But the Dolphins early, I think, are a very dangerous team to the Bills if that secondary isn't up to snuff and the Dolphins are able to protect. I don't know which way either of these are going to go. But I really like this team. I really like the Dolphins as far as the defense. The receiving group is very dangerous. Tua, I'm not really worried about Tua because if his rack explodes, his rack was not good last year. And if these receivers are going to create leverage and open up space, they're going to get rack. And this doesn't mean Tua is the greatest thing in sliced bread, but he'll be able to distribute the ball if they protect and if they can run the football. And if they can run the football, it's going to be big because if they can't run the football and they still protect and they got these receivers, I'm nervous about going into Buffalo late. I'm nervous about going into New York late or New England late or some other. I think we got some other late games that we have going away with the cold and the wind. That's dangerous for a pass-happy team. So we must run that football. So here it is. The AFC East is pretty much, we're like Bills, Pats, Dolphins vying it out, and maybe more people saying, Dolphins are clear second and Pats are third. I'm kind of in a vying situation. And then the Jets, they're going to suck. They're terrible. I believe that they can be play spoilers. But NFL is so interesting because anything can happen. Curveballs happen all the time. As Mike Tyson said, everyone's got a plan to get punched in the face. This preseason is going to tell us a lot. I'm really excited to see how it's going to play out. I don't know. I got ideas. I got opinions. But this is going to be a fun ride. Hope you enjoyed. This is Curtis saying thanks for staying to the end. Catch you next time. Be well. Go AFC East. Start building your own online sportsbook today by getting signed up with aceperhead.com service that'll allow you to book action on sports from all around the world.